good, everybody? It's your girlfriend Manila here, and today I'm going to be learning USA State Highway Marker Metas in Geoguessr. So, let's see how I do, and without further ado, let's jump right into the video. A lot of these should have the either outline of the state or the state name on the actual highway marker. For those ones, I should be able to get those fairly quickly, but for the ones that are just like a shape that are not the shape of the state or have like the name on it, those are the ones that I'm going to want to like focus in on and try to remember more. Okay, so first up we have this one on the right that is like a beehive. It doesn't say the state name on there anywhere, but I'm pretty sure there's some sort of flag with like a beehive on it somewhere in like over here. Is it Utah ? Wayne County. I've heard of Wayne County. Isn't there like a Wayne in Indiana? But this is not Indiana ever. Along Route 66 maybe, because we have the 66 like gas station. Yeah, not entirely sure what it is, but I'm gonna go with Utah. Okay, cool. It was Utah. So the Utah highway signs can be recognized by the shape of a bee house on the sign. And I'll throw up a picture of what the Utah flag looks like, because that's how I kind of came to that conclusion that it was Utah. Highway signs. Okay, these just look like normal highway signs. Down here, it's just a square. Just a square. I feel like there could be multiple states, although some of them I feel like it says the state name on it, but this one does not. So let's see if there's any other information around. Glenville State University, never heard of that. Something county, okay, 119, 33, Morris Stadium, something State University, it's probably Glenville State. It starts with a W, something Women's Basketball National Champions. But I don't know what state we're in. Okay, so no state outline, no state on the marker name. Where do I think we are? Maybe somewhere like north in the US, so maybe like in Michigan. Okay, no, this is West Virginia. So the West Virginia highway sign can be recognized by a white sign, often with a black outline. The same sign can be found in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Maine. Alright, we are looking at this over here. Okay, so this one is a case of one of the highway markers having the exact state name on it. So this one, it says California, so we're gonna go in California, which is over here on the west coast of the United States. Now, it's technically possible to 5K this. Also another California meta. So these 3 yellow stripes on the wooden pole, I think it's rare if they exist in other states. So I think 99% of the time if you see 3 yellow stripes on the pole, you're probably in California, if you're in the US, because I don't know if other countries have it. We're near Death Valley though, so should I try to 5K this? No, let's just plonk it here and we'll see. Okay, not bad. We got 3.8. It was a California highway sign. Very easily recognizable by the distinct green color and shape, as well as having California written on the top of the sign. So this one is kind of a shield shape, but not with sharp edges. So this one I also don't know. I guess I should stop looking around at the other clues because I'm trying to be able to just recognize it based off the highway sign. But I don't know, so let's go Indiana. Okay, this is Virginia. So I didn't see the circle, so maybe I was zoomed into the wrong sign, so maybe I shouldn't look around a little bit more. But the Virginia highway sign can be recognized by a misshaped white circle on a black sign. On secondary roads, they use the same white circle and black background design like in Delaware, Iowa, Mississippi, New Jersey, and Maine. Okay, it can also be found in Oregon. Ooh, this one has the shape of a state. It's one of the ones in the 4 corners, I think. Has a little indent on the top left. Who has a little indent on the top left? Actually, none of these do. This kind of does, Arizona. But the shape doesn't exactly match it. I mean, it kind of does. It just has less rougher edges, I guess. So currently thinking Arizona just based off the highway sign, but doesn't match the shape of any other state. I don't know. It can't really be anything that's further east, I think. So let's go Arizona. Okay, cool. It was an Arizona highway sign. It's just the shape on here. Oh, it didn't say Arizona, but this sign does say it. The shape on here just has smoother edges than the actual outline of the state on the map. So that's something to keep in mind. I was able to get it because I knew vegetation wise, from what I could see behind the sign, was like somewhere in like the west of the United States. But yeah, like the indent in the top left, which is what made me think here. All right, 17K, let's keep going. All right, we have the outline of a state on this route marker sign. I don't know what state that is off the top of my head, so I'm gonna look at the map of the United States to try to like match up the shape. So something with like a little thing in the bottom and mostly a flat top, like a little bit of like a ridge on the bottom, mostly a flat top, like South Dakota. This looks right, it has like a little thingy on the bottom, something sticking out. Yeah, I think this matches for South Dakota vegetation wise, and then this part in the bottom here matching this part of the green sign. This was a South Dakota highway sign, so the South Dakota highway sign can be recognized by the clear green outline on the sign forming the shape of the state. So green outline is very South Dakota. Over here, there's a notch on the top left, so we're gonna go Arizona. All right, already recognizing that quicker. That is good. This is just a square, just like a white square with like a black border. I think this could be multiple states, but is it ever Virginia, or did Virginia have more of a black background on the white square? It could be. I feel like it could be multiple states like this particular one, but I'm going to go with Virginia because I think that's what I remember from the last time I saw a square. Maine? Okay, so the Maine highway sign only consists of a white sign with a road number. The same sign can be found in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and West Virginia. Okay, so I don't know if it can be found in like Virginia, but it can be found in West Virginia. But looks like this one is not like exclusive to Maine. So good to be like, I guess, aware of the options that it could be if you get one that has multiple states. This one says Nevada, and it has the shape of the state, which let's zoom in just so people can see. So we see kind of like the straight line at the top, and then we could see like a little bit of like a sharp cutout in the bottom right here. It's a little bit more smooth on the sign, so if it doesn't match exactly when you're scanning like the US for Nevada, that's okay, because sometimes they just do it for ease of like graphic design, which like, you know, makes sense, the straighter lines. So let's plunk it here in Nevada. Okay, cool. Nevada highway sign can be recognized by the shape of the state on the sign. This one is, well, I was trying not to look at the blue sign on the left. Like, I don't know if that's like supposed to be the focus. I think it's supposed to be the ones that are in like the black and white like route numbers. But we have like black numbers on a white background with a black border. But then on the left, we have the interstate sign that says Connecticut on it. So I'm going to go in Connecticut, which I feel like it's like weird that people say Connecticut when it's like connect, I cut. But anyways, we're going to go here and we'll see what the meta says. All right, Connecticut highway sign. So the Connecticut highway sign only consists of a white sign with a road number, can be found in Maine, Massachusetts, and West Virginia. Okay, so same thing that it says for the other round when we had it in Maine. Shape of the state. Ooh, it has like a little thingy on the bottom. It's like, is it Georgia or something? No, it's not Georgia. Alabama? Alabama has one of the like the little thingies on the bottom, right? Like a little cutout, or is it sounding Missouri? It's somewhere in like the vague like south, from what I remember, because I've seen this highway sign before, but I think I've gotten it mixed up with something else. I'm like pretty sure it's Alabama, so let's plonk it in the middle of Alabama. Yeah, I think that matches up. Okay, cool, it was Alabama. So the Alabama highway sign can be somewhat easily recognized as it just has the shape of the state. Okay. Ooh, unique. Okay, this one is like a sunflower, like a daisy. It's like a yellow cutout with like the number in the middle and then the black background. I don't know this one off the top of my head. If I wasn't looking around at, you know, everything else, like maybe I'd think like somewhere in like the West Coast, but yeah, I've never seen this yellow one, or at least like I've never seen it and like assigned it to like a place in my head. I guess I'll go like Oregon or something, because I have no clue what Oregon's state marker looks like. Okay, I was very far off. This was Kansas. So Kansas highway sign. So the Kansas highway sign can easily be recognized as it's the only sign that consists of a yellow circle on top of a black sign. Okay. I wouldn't say it's just like a yellow circle. I feel like it feels more like a flower shape to me. And even in this like background over here, you can see the shape of a yellow flower. So maybe it's indicative of the state flower or something. I'll throw up on the screen what the state flower of Kansas is. So maybe it's like a yellow flower too. Okay. This is our sign. So it does say the state name on it. So it says Montana, so we know it's Montana. But it's a white square with a number in the middle, and then it has a black border on the outside, and then of course it says the state name on it. So we're just gonna plonk it in the middle of Montana. Cool. Okay, so we were right, despite how far and bad of a score I got. Montana highway sign can be recognized with a black frame and the name Montana on top of the sign. On secondary roads, you'll see a white shape resembling a tip of an arrow on a black sign. Okay, so I think for like the tip of the arrow, like that one I didn't see from like where it currently was. That one I should commit more to memory, because obviously if I can just like read the state name, then I can just like plonk it in the right state. But the tip of an arrow, Montana. Okay. This one says Alaska. And I think this one's like a very like unique one. Like obviously aside from it saying just like Alaska on it, but it has like the Big Dipper or the Little Dipper constellation on the bottom left, which is cool. But it does have the route on the right side of the sign in black text, and then it has a white background, state name at the top, constellation on the bottom left, and then a thin black border around the route marker. So we're gonna go in Alaska. I'll go near Anchorage. Cool, 3.6, we'll take that. Alaska highway sign, easily recognized by the stars in the sign resembling the stars in the flag, as well as the word Alaska being written on the top of the sign. Okay. The shape that's like rounded we had. It's rounded. It's like a shield. Is it like, no, Nevada? I said Nevada. Was it Utah? No, Utah had a beehive. Was it somewhere over here I think had the rounded corner? Was it California? It was Oregon. Okay, so the Oregon highway sign can be recognized by a misshaped circle on the black sign. It can sometimes be found in Virginia, but the landscape is very different. Okay, I got a bordering state, but not the correct state, so have to remember that. Oregon highway sign has like the rounded shield shape. It says misshaped circle, but I don't feel like it feels like a circle because it feels pointier at the bottom. Ooh, this is a shape of Oklahoma? Okay, cool. So the shape of the state is on the sign. So you can see kind of like a handle sticking out, and then kind of like, it's almost like a pot shape, like a pot that you use to, you know, like cook things in, which matches this state, Oklahoma, that is above Texas in the south of the U.S. So we got kind of like the thin handle over here, and then kind of like a pot shape over here. So we'll just plonk it in the middle, and this should be an Oklahoma state sign. Okay, cool. It was Oklahoma, so the Oklahoma highway sign can be recognized by a thin outline of the state behind the road number. All right, well, this one is a number on a number in black text on a white background with like a thicker black border. So I think this can be multiple states. Now I do see a Kroger in the background, so that feels like generally more of like a Midwest kind of grocery store. I think they can be found all over the US, but I think they're more heavily concentrated in the middle. Let's go like Illinois. Okay, this one was West Virginia. So the West Virginia highway sign can be recognized by a white sign, often with a black outline. Okay. So just one of the more generic ones. This one is a white circle with black numbers in it, and then there's a black border, but the black border isn't like a thin black border around the circle. It's more like a square black border, if that makes sense, around the circle of the number on the sign. I think that this is New Jersey because of Camden and Wildwood, which I think are cities in New Jersey. So we're going to go New Jersey, but that's not because of the route marker. It's because of the city names under it. Okay, it was New Jersey. So this was a New Jersey highway sign. So the New Jersey highway sign consists of a white circle and a black sign. Note, similar signs can be found in Delaware, Iowa, and New Mexico on special occasion, and Mississippi. Okay. Ooh, okay. So this one is interesting because it's a white circle on a black square background, but it has like a thin red ring around the number with kind of like lines poking out. But that's something on the, I think, New Mexico flag. So I'm pretty sure we're in New Mexico. I could be wrong here. Let's see. Okay, cool. We were in New Mexico. I got 4.8. Woohoo. I'm going to throw up a picture of the New Mexico flag on the screen because I think like for a lot of the ones where it doesn't have the state name or the state shape, sometimes it has elements from the state flag. Like, you know, Alaska, it has like the constellations that are on the flag, and this one it has kind of like the red ring and stuff. But it says New Mexico highway signs can be recognized by a white circle and a black background. I don't know why it's kind of like looks like this to text now with a thin red circle. Note the red circle isn't always there. Okay, but if you do see the red circle, you are in New Mexico. This one is just a white circle with a black number. There's no border. There's no like background behind the circle because it's on a green sign. Let me see if there's another route marker that we can see visible. Okay, when I like turn around, I see other route markers. So I do see a white circle and a black background. And the numbers are in black. So I think it could be Jersey again. It could be other states too, I think, have a similar thing. So let's just go in the middle. It was Delaware. So the Delaware highway sign consists of a white circle and a black sign. Note similar signs can be found in Iowa, Mississippi, New Mexico, and New Jersey. Okay, 19K. Let's keep going. I think my goal for today is to kind of just get like better at recognizing the highway signs because some of them aren't like unique to specific states. So I'm not going to get it 100% right every time if I'm just looking at the highway signs, but I think if I get better at recognizing them, especially then when I'm in No Move or NMPZ, then I can narrow it down to like a couple of states if I see one that's like common amongst a couple places. But for today, I'm just trying to get better at recognizing some of them. So it says Idaho on the route marker. So Idaho is a state that is in the west-ish of the U.S. It's kind of like if you go from California and you go up and to the right. And then it has like the city names on here. So I'm like almost wondering if this one I should like try to 5K because it feels like something that's very 5Kable. Boise's 63 away. So actually let's put some effort into this. But I won't like go too hard if I can't figure it out. Bruneau is only 2 away. So we're somewhere near Bruneau, which I saw right here. 51 and 78. 51 is here. 78 is here. And we're on this like red car. Okay, cool. We're near this like thing that's turning to the right. So 51, 78, Bruno's 2 away. Something turning to the right. Does it say the road name? I can't read it. I feel like we're gonna be like really close to this 5K now. Like I almost want to. Ooh, there's like a triangle split behind. This is a triangle split behind, right? And this would be a road to the right. Is there a road to our left that splits off? Is that a road that splits off or, There's like, is that a triangle over here? Or is this just one way? Am I down here? I think we're somewhere near here. Maybe this is not the 5K exactly, but let's see. Okay, I'm like, because I wasn't sure if that was the exact 5K, but we got it because the route sign had the name of the state in it, and it had multiple city names, and it had the route numbers, and then I saw like the triangle roads behind me. So woohoo, unexpected 5K for this Metas video. Okay, so white circle, black square background could be multiple states. I think it could be like Delaware, it could be New Jersey. Let's go Delaware this time. It was Iowa. Okay, so forgot that Iowa was on the list, but I think if I looked around and I took in other clues, I could have gotten it. But the Iowa highway sign. So the Iowa highway sign consists of a white circle and a black sign. Note, similar signs can be found in Delaware, Mississippi, New Mexico, and New Jersey. So I did mention 2 of the other states it could have been. So I think like lesson to learn from this round in particular and a lot of the other rounds is that don't use that as like the only clue to determine a state unless it's something like super unique, but it can use it to, or you can use it to help determine like a portion of like what states it could be. Like you narrow it down to a few if you're completely unsure. But hopefully it shouldn't be the only clue you see. So we have white circle on a black square background again with a thin white border on the outside. Now, because on the left it says IA60, I want to say that means like Iowa Route 60. So I'm going to click in Iowa. Cool, it was an Iowa highway sign. And that time I was able to determine like the correct state out of the ones it possibly could have been because I used my other clues, like seeing the other route markers that had like the state route numbers on it. This one is it's the same one. It's like the white circle, black square background, thin white border. So it could be multiple states. Now I do see an abundance of like corn and like wheat or something in the background. So makes me think more Midwest than maybe some of the other East Coast options that have the similar design. So we'll go Iowa again. Okay, cool. I think that's 3 Iowas in a row if I'm not mistaken. Which is interesting because I guess you don't think about Iowa too much on a day-to-day, or at least like me, I don't think about Iowa every single day. Okay, so this is the same design again. So repeating again, does this feel like Iowa just from like the background of vegetation? I don't think so. So I think it might not be Iowa this time. It might be one of the other states that's mentioned on the same design meta. I'll go like New Jersey? Mississippi. Okay, so Mississippi highway sign consists of a white circle and a black sign. We know the other states it could look like. Only got 13K there, but I got 3 in Iowa, which is like really interesting. Let's play this map 1 or 2 more times and see how many more I can learn, if I can cement them into my brain, if I can get any unique ones again, and then we'll call it a day for learning USA highway marker metas. Okay, ooh, Beehive. Low-key, this one I think might be my favorite, or one of my favorites for the highway markers, because it's unique, it has like a cool design, but Beehive is on the state flag of Utah. Cool, okay, Utah highway signs, recognized by the shape of a bee house on the sign. This has the shape of a state, and it has the handle that looks like a pot, so we're gonna go in Oklahoma. Okay, it was an Oklahoma highway sign. Ooh, this is the one that can be in multiple states, but we just had this literal exact location last round. I remember because I remember the 14 and the 19 next to each other, the forest as well. So I know that it's Mississippi, but just from the highway sign, I don't know if you'd be able to tell it's Mississippi, but we literally had this exact location in the last set. So cool, it was Mississippi, but can be found in other states, this highway sign, so don't use that as like the only clue. This one says Idaho on it, and it has the shape of the state, if you can see kind of like at the top, and it has like the outline of everything else. It's interesting how the shape of Idaho on here is more like matching like what it is on like an actual like map, instead of having like more straight lines, because I think for a lot of the other highway markers it kind of like smooths out the lines of like the borders of the state. And it's also interesting that you can see like the face of Montana because of like the cutout of Idaho. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it like that, but like it kind of looks like Montana has like a face that pokes out to the left, but it's kind of on the right side of Idaho. Okay, the Idaho highway sign can easily be recognized by the shape of the state and the name Idaho on the top of the sign. Ooh, this one is different. Okay, so this one we have not had yet, so I'm glad that we played until we got this one. So it's a black square background, and then there's like a white diamond, and then it has the number of like the route in black font or black text, and then also there's an M that's like a thick M shape on top of the route number. So I'm like 99% sure this is Michigan, because I think it matches like the M font of the Michigan Wolverines, which is in the University of Michigan. So I am gonna go to Michigan. And we're going to go near, I think Ann Arbor is where UM is. Okay, cool. We were near Ann Arbor, so we were in Michigan. Michigan highway sign. So the Michigan highway sign can easily be recognized by the diamond shape on the black sign with a big black M at the top. Note, it can be confused with the North Carolina sign, but that does not have the M at the top. Okay, so I think, yeah, M stands for Michigan, but I think it's the same font as the University of Michigan, so that's how I knew that. And Michigan is up here, of course, at the top, kind of by all the lakes. All right, well, we got 21,000, so not bad. I think there's a lot of states that I haven't gotten. That's why I wanted to play it one more time. And this is an example of one I haven't gotten yet today. So there's a couple of reasons why you should be able to recognize this state marker as Louisiana. So first of all, it says LA on it, which I think is the 2-letter like state code for Louisiana. Second of all, it has the shape of the state on there. So even if you didn't know what like LA meant at all, you could match the shape of the state to the outline of the state when you look at a map of the US. And I know there's like a ton of states in the US, there's like 50. The shape of this state is very unique. People say it looks like a boot or a shoe sometimes in the US. That can be helpful to remember if you don't know where Louisiana is. But Louisiana is to the right of Texas. So if you know where Texas is, go straight to the right and it's at the bottom. And you can see kind of like the outline of the shoe / boot down here. So we're gonna plonk it in the middle of Louisiana. Okay, cool. Louisiana highway sign, easily recognized by the shape of the state on the sign as well as the letters LA on the top of the sign. Okay, ooh, highway marker over here. Okay, so we again see the diamond background on a black square, and then it has like that thick M at the top above the route marker, so we know we're in Michigan. Awesome, we were in Michigan despite how poor of a score I got because it was all the way at the top of Michigan. But the Michigan highway sign, easily recognized by the diamond shape with the big black M at the top. Ooh. This one's a bit of a sore spot for me. I'm gonna insert a clip of something.
I feel like I have to go Virginia, right? Because of the Washington face. Like Richmond. I don't know. I'm not really sure of this guess, but I've never seen like the Washington outline on roads before, so. Or on the route sign. Let's see. Okay.
But yeah, so very first time I saw this in duels many months ago, I was like, okay, that is the shape of, or the outline of George Washington. So I was like, okay, Washington. But first what came to mind was not Washington the state, but Washington, D.C., which is not a state. But I was like, okay, maybe they just have the outline of Washington for Washington, D.C. So this is the outline of George Washington. I'll throw up a picture of like George Washington in case like you don't recognize the outline. But that's who this is supposed to be like the outline of. And then Washington, the state, is up here on the kind of like the top left of the continental U.S., so just below Canada. So I'm going to plonk it in the middle of Washington, the state, and not Washington, D.C. Perfect, amazing, we'll take it. Washington highway sign. So the Washington highway sign can be recognized by the white silhouette of George Washington's head on the sign. Okay, this one is maybe a generic sign because it's like a white rectangle with a thin white border and it has like the route number on it. No state outline, no state names on there. Nothing like particular, like, you know, like the stars or whatever. I think this feels like, well, it says south on the sign, but it does feel like maybe like the south of the US from the vegetation. Let's look around at other clues and see if I can combine it with anything. No passing zone, okay. It feels like maybe just like the Midwest, but it also could just be like that because of like the barn that I'm seeing. I'll go like Pennsylvania, but I'm not sure on this one. I feel like this one could be multiple states. Okay, this one was Massachusetts. So the Massachusetts highway sign only consists of a white sign with a road number. The same sign can be found in Connecticut, Maine, and West Virginia. Okay, so it can be found in multiple states. Connecticut, Maine, and West Virginia. Okay, well, this one is new, so that's good that we're ending on one that we haven't seen yet today. So this route marker has a number, it has a thin white border on a like white rectangle, and then it has a state name at the top. It says Illinois, or as some people say, Illinois, but Illinois is the name of a state which is in the Midwest of the U.S., and it's to say that Chicago is in, if you've ever heard of Chicago, the city. So we're gonna plonk it in the middle of Illinois here, and we'll call it a day. Alright, cool. Was an Illinois highway sign. So Illinois highway sign only consists of a white plate with the name of Illinois pointed with the name Illinois printed at the top. Can be confused with Indiana, which looks the same, but it has Indiana written at the top. But I mean, like, luckily, like, if you guess Indiana and Illinois, like, they're right next to each other, so you shouldn't be, like, too far from each other either way. But ending on 17K, so I'm not bad. Learned a couple of new highway markers today, and also some ones that were more generic, but good for narrowing it down to a couple of states if I have, like, no other clues or I'm not sure at all where in the US you are. So I hope this was helpful, and that is going to be it for today. So thank you so much for watching this video of me learning US state highway marker metas in Geoguessr. If you enjoyed this video, let me know down below. I'll also have the map linked in the description if you want to try it out yourself. Thank you so much again for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to French Vanilla, and have a great day!